A post is going viral today claiming to have secrets to avoiding Claude's usage limits. We've all been there. We're on Claude, we're almost finished with our tasks, and then bam, usage limits hit, no more Claude. If you want more, you got to pay more. Now, we're going to be talking today about a viral tweet that claims to have uncovered why this happens and how to stop it. I'm going to fact check it and let you know everything that's real and things that are just made up for engagement. Some of it is genuinely useful. Some of it is totally wrong, and none of it covers Claude Code, which works completely differently to Claude. Let's fix all these three problems right now. So first, the truth that applies across Claude.AI, Claude Code, and the API. Claude tracks tokens, not messages. This is true. Every message you send, every file you attach, every tool that gets loaded, it's all accumulated. And Claude rereads the entire conversation history on every single turn. The longer the session, the more tokens burn per message. That's the constraint everything else flows from. And this is where most people are currently going wrong right now. Claude didn't just suddenly get worse. People just started using it in ways that quietly burn way more tokens than they used to. So first, for Claude.AI users, be it the website or the app on your phone or on your computer, here's what actually helps. Edit, don't follow up. When Claude gets something wrong, click edit on the original message, fix it, then regenerate. That replaces the exchange. It doesn't stack up a correction on top. Over a long chat, that really does compound. You can batch your questions. 3 separate messages means there's full context reloads on your input. 1 message with 3 questions means 1. Always batch questions together. Use projects for recurring files. If you upload the same PDF to multiple chats, Claude reprocesses it every time. Upload it to a project once, it gets cached, you don't reburn tokens the next session. Start a fresh chat when chats get long. When a conversation feels bloated, ask Claude to summarize the key context, copy it, open a new chat, paste it as your first message, clean slate, lower cost. Disable any tools that you're not using, like web search, connectors, MCP tools. Each one loads a definition into the context window, whether you use it or not. Just go to settings, search and tools, turn off what you don't need for that situation. Bonus for anyone who's still here, thanks very much. Please like and subscribe. This is actually the first video on Richie AI YouTube channel. A few fast wins almost no one is doing. Stop sending messages unless you need them. They break caching every time. Force shorter answers, say 3 bullet points max. And be direct. No filler, no fluff, just the task. Most people aren't hitting limits because of Claude. They're hitting limits because of how they're prompting it. You don't want a story in each reply. You want succinct answers, so ask for them. Right, let's move on to Claude Code, where it's actually my wheelhouse. That's where I spend most of my time on Claude, right? Claude Code is a different beast entirely, and this is where most guides completely fall short and where most tokens disappear quick. Claude Code's content window holds everything. A single debugging session can burn tens of thousands of tokens, and as it fills, performance degrades. Claude starts forgetting about earlier instructions, making more mistakes. Use /clear between unrelated tasks. When you move to a new task, run /clear. So for example, if you're moving from one folder to another for a completely different project, clear before you go on, or you will be loading everything always. You need a full reset, no baggage from the last thing you worked on. Use /compact to summarize without losing momentum. This would be for if you're in mid-task and you can't afford full reset, you can just run /compact. Or give it focus instructions so it keeps what matters. /compact, focus on the API changes only. You can also use /context to see where your tokens are going. Run /context. You get a live breakdown, system prompt, tools, memory file, conversation history, free space, and your auto compact buffer. This tells you whether you're near your limit before performance starts dropping. Next, using sub-agents for research. When Claude needs to explore your code base, don't let it clog your main session. You can delegate, right? Use sub-agents to investigate how our auth system handles token refresh. The sub-agent works in a separate context window and reports back a summary. None of the file reading clutter in your main session. You should be keeping a Claude.md file. Store your project architecture, naming conventions, and key context in a Claude.md file at your project root. Claude Code loads it automatically. You stop re-explaining your project from scratch every new session. You need to avoid the final 20% of context for complex work. As the window fills and those tokens are flying away, performance does degrade significantly on Claude. Never start a complex multi-file refactor when you're at 80% plus context usage. So then following the guidance, you should check with /context, then run /clear and start fresh if needed. Right, let's talk about model switching. How to switch models in Claude Code. This is something actually the viral post we mentioned at the start got completely wrong for Claude.AI users and completely skipped for Claude Code users. As far as I know, on Claude with the dashboard, you don't choose your model. You just get sonnet, end of story, right? But on Claude Code, you have full control and there are 3 ways to switch this around. So in the middle of a session, which is most common, you can decide which model you want to use. You can just use /model followed by sonnet, opus, or haiku. This takes effect immediately from the rest of the session. On startup, you can also just begin Claude model sonnet or Claude model opus. This will then take effect. You can actually prompt Claude Code to export to your ZSHRC folder. Now you don't need to go into the folder. You can actually just ask Claude Code to do this for you. What I prefer to do is to ask it to use opus, which is the more expensive model and better model for planning, and then use sonnet for execution. And this is a real built-in feature. There's a model alias called opusplan. Now this might be set as default for you, but it's always best to check. With #model opusplan, in plan mode it uses opus for complex reasoning and architecture. Then it automatically switches to sonnet for code generation and implementation. Best of both without you having to think about it, and it means that you do save tokens in the long run. Or you do it manually mid-session for full control. Just go /opus, it will move you onto the more expensive plan for debugging hard problems or big plans, right? Then once you're past that and you're into construction phase, /sonnet, this will then do implementation and everyday coding, or save even more by going /haiku for simple tasks like renaming and formatting. So what to ignore from all these viral posts about Claude tokens? The first one, which is a straight up lie, is that peak hours cost more, right? There is no peak hour. The rumor is that since March the 26th, certain hours burn your limit faster. Anthropic hasn't confirmed this publicly, treated as unverified. There's another claim that 98.5% of tokens go to rereading history. That's just one LinkedIn post. The direction is right. The number is not a universal fact. But yes, a lot of tokens are wasted just reading your chat history. So that's why I say clean it up. Clean up your prompts, clean up your chat, save money. The platform does really matter. Claude.AI and Claude Code have different tools and different habits. Learn the right ones for where you work and you'll rarely hit your limits at all. Thanks very much, and if you enjoyed this, please take a moment to like and subscribe to this new channel, and I will have more AI content coming up for you very soon. See you later. Make something beautiful.